Alright, hey, HadesOmega here, and this is the after action review for Virginia City Grand Prix 2024. Alright, HadesOmega X Light BMX versus Virginia City Grand Prix 2024 electric class. We might as well just call it the Sauron class, because that was all the bikes that were there. They were all Saurons, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna after action reviews. What was supposed to happen, what really happened, and things we could do to improve. And boy, there's a lot of things to be improved. All right, so what was supposed to happen? We were supposed to race Virginia City Grand Prix in the electric class. Yeah, so I won it last year, and I was trying to win it again this year. All right, but it didn't go quite as planned. All right, and we'll find out in this AAR. Well, if you watched the race video, you kind of know what happened. All right. Yeah, I won't spoil you the results. we'll go over the results at the end of the video. Okay, guys. Anyway, what was supposed to happen? We're supposed to race Virginia City Grand Prix. What usually happens is I take the Light B with me, and then we go there on Friday. We register. We camp there tonight, and then we watch the races on Saturday, and then I race on Sunday. Okay. That's when all the electric bikes, all the wacky bikes race. Okay. and yeah, what a race it was, I'll tell you that, man. So let me talk about the bike for a second. This bike is pretty much totally different than it was last year. Okay, guys, HadesOmega put a lot of work into this bike in the winter time. To make it as good as I can, because HadesOmega decided I'm not going to buy an Ultra B, and now I want to buy Ultra B. Alright? And you'll find out why in a bit. But anyway, let's talk about what was different about the bike this year, alright? And the events leading up to it, alright? So, here's all the work that I've done to the bike. We're still running we're still running the same freaking tires as last year. I should have at least changed the rear tire. My rear tire is all chewed up, man. It's hung in there pretty good, but the last time I really rode this bike off-road was in Moab. And I really, I did a number on the tires in Moab, but man, that was a lot of fun riding though. The only thing that was the same from last year in the powertrain is the KO Moto factory spec motor, okay? And yeah, that's pretty much it. So we still have the Von Cat rear shock, but I bought a KO Moto swing arm. Okay, guys, it's longer. I was hoping it would be more comfortable off-road, but maybe I didn't have the suspension set up right or something. The rear just felt too stiff, and the front was soft. And yeah, the front was soft, but the rear was still too stiff. If I can get it better, but yeah, so so the reason I'm talking about the swing arm is because we had to do something to the Von Cat 10.5 shock. Okay, I had to get a stiffer spring on it, so I sent it into Von Cat to get it serviced, and they put a new spring, and also the bump stop was cracked. All right, so it was only a matter of time before it would just disappear all itself. Okay, but yeah. We put a stiffer spring on it because the swing arm is longer. All right, when you have this longer swing arm, you have more torque on the pivot. All right, so and what that equates to is it puts more forces on the spring. All right, so I ran out of preload. I ran out of sag basically. All right, we didn't have, or not. It's not that I ran out of sag. It's that I had too much sag and I couldn't get rid of it. All right. So what happens when you have, when you don't have enough preload to get the right amount of sag? That means you need a stiffer spring. All right. So we bought the stiffer, the 525-pound spring, and I feel that it's a little heavy, but the threads are like in the center, so I think it's okay. That's the way it's supposed to be. But I guess I have never ridden this setup in the dirt yet. Okay, guys, the closest I got to riding this in the dirt was a Shasta Supermoto race a couple weeks ago. Okay, and yeah, I beat the bike out really bad in that race, man. But it's not really trail riding, man. It's like mini motocross type stuff, right? It's not the stuff we rode at Virginia City. So yeah. So what I'll go over the setup and like how I didn't get to test it. Okay. So I have the EBMX X9000 controller, and with that I have the Egg Rider dealie and the Regen thumb throttle. And I thought this would be, oh, this is going to help me a whole lot at Virginia City, and it didn't really. Okay, it just became more of a hindrance. Actually, I felt like I probably did better with the KO stuff last year. All right, but yeah, man, going down the hills is terrifying on this bike, man. It doesn't matter if you have a Regen throttle or not. Okay, what else? We're running the Warp 9 primary drive. I got a new battery. Yeah, I got a new battery. I got this guy. All right. Okay. Cheap Battery Systems Gladiator 72 Compact. All right, so this is their racing battery, guys. So 72 volts and 38 amp hours. So so here is the plan. All right, guys. Last year I did 4 laps. All right, because the laps weren't that long. They were short enough where we could do it. And I had a 42. I borrowed an EBMX 42 amp hour battery, and I wanted to see if it could go the distance, if it could do 2 laps, and it did. So, and I managed to pull off 4 laps. All right, and so I wanted to see, like, hey, maybe we can do it again. Maybe we could do 2 laps with this. All right, but because this is 38 amp hours, it's bigger than all my other batteries too, but it's not as big as the EBMX battery. But anyway, so I got this awesome battery. Okay, so that's the difference that's the big difference from last year. Okay, the battery and the controller. All right, I borrowed a battery last year, and then yeah, but so now the problem is I'm having problems with my other batteries now. Okay, they're getting to that age. I think HadesOmega has just gotten his money's worth out of them. That's what I say. All right, and batteries are so expensive, man. Anyway, so yeah, I'd also rebuilt the front fork. All right, it was fresh, and it was great. It was great during the race, I'll tell you that. All right. However, the back was too stiff still. Okay, right now I got the small battery in it, so I brought 3 batteries again. All right, I knew you want to at least have 1 battery per lap, because you never know what they're going to throw at you. Okay, and HadesOmega was right. Okay. Well, my plan was to do the 4 laps, but we only did the 3 laps, okay? Okay, so leading up to this, I was actually supposed to race in the Hollister Hills Wild Wabbit Hare Scramble, and that was going to be my first off-road race, and it was supposed to be like the kind of practice race for Virginia City Grand Prix, okay? And it got canceled. It got canceled because there was a storm, and I just found out now that they rescheduled it, so I guess we'll get to do it still. Okay, so hopefully the stuff that we learn from racing Virginia City Grand Prix we're gonna apply to the bike, and hopefully we'll be do better in the Wild Wabbit. That's what I say. Okay, so that's a scoop. Also this year, HadesOmega is sponsored by Liat. All right, Liat Protectives. They also sponsor the Virginia City Grand Prix too. Okay, I got a free hat from them too. But yeah, I'm rocking their gear. Okay, I got a new helmet, and boy, did the helmet help me today, alright? Or else I would have had like a busted skull or something, okay? So that's a little spoiler. I got some new boots also. They're right here. Alright. Liat FlexLock 5.5. Okay. They're an awesome company that makes protective gears from Cape Town, South Africa. Okay, that's where their company is based out of. Okay. Oh yeah, and I was trying this little this butt pack too. All right, because these don't have pockets. I think I might buy the Enduro pants for the from Liat, because they have pockets in them. You can put stuff in them. I like to carry stuff when I ride, and you can't carry stuff with your dirt bike gear, with the dirt bike, pajamas. Okay. But anyway, okay. So let's so yeah, that's the skinny. That's the 411. Okay, I have like some worn out tires, but I have like a new swing arm. I got a new battery, new controller, new everything, man. Oh yeah, also I had upgraded the wiring on the going from the controller to the battery. Okay, the wiring harness. I put like 4-gauge wires, and it makes it a pain in the butt. I had to get a hinge extension kit for the thingy, and yeah, it was freaking I kind of don't like it. All right, it would be nice if I had all the same batteries. All right, because this battery is big, guys. It's tall. It's taller than the EBMX battery I borrowed for last year, but it's a badass battery. This battery can handle a lot of punishment. Okay, but yeah, I upgraded the connectors to QS10, so it has the anti-spark, and I deleted the breaker also. So yeah, there's another thing. I also had the prickly battery wall to hold everything together because my other battery wall freaking broke. Yeah, man, I've literally broken every part on this bike. It's insane, all right? But anyway, so here's what happens, guys, all right? So we get there on Friday, and yeah, we register for the electric race. I know there's 4 people registered, okay, and I don't really know who they are, okay? Every year, pretty much not the same people race. That's what I want to say, all right? However, I have been racing Ted for almost 4 years now. I think 3 years I raced Ted in the electric race, Ted Elswick, and sadly enough, he didn't race this year in the cake. So he wound up getting a low number, and so he raced in front of everybody, all right, and he was racing with the WR250F. So yeah, so unfortunately we didn't get to battle with Ted this time around, but I got to hang out with Ted a whole lot during the weekend and everything. He's a cool guy, and he has a little house there, so it's cool. So yeah. So we register. It's $100. I think it's $100 to register, and guess what? I got the same number as last year, 903. All right, we're hoping to bring the 903 plate numbers to the finish line first, but it didn't quite happen. All right, and yeah, boy, did I get my ass whooping it, all right, type of thing. So I bumped into Joel, all right, and I talked to Joel a couple times, like once or twice. All right, I actually went to his shop when he still had one, and he let me ride an Ultra B. Because of Joel, that was the first time I was ever able to ride an Ultra B. Okay, and I still want one. I just don't have the money, guys. I'm dumping all my money in the RAV4, man. I haven't paid it off yet. It's this and the RAV4, and it's just eating up all my money, guys. And I bought a Redshift last year too, so that doesn't help either. So if I can somehow come upon a large sum of money, then yeah, maybe I would get an Ultra B. But anyway, yeah, I bumped into Joel, and Joel had an Ultra B. All right, so he was going to race the Ultra B. He was number 901. Okay, and then I come to find out that he tells me that his son is going to race Chris. His son is going to race a Storm B. So yeah, so HadesOmega's already worried. I'm like, oh, I knew this is gonna happen eventually. We're gonna have to race against those bikes, man, and they're legit motorcycles, man. So yeah, so we were gonna race. I knew we were gonna race at least an Ultra B and a Storm B, all right, and then there's gonna be me on the Light B. So HadesOmega's gonna go up against the next generation of Sauron bikes, okay? And yeah, it's gonna be a tough battle, all right. And also Joel and his son are really good at racing. They're good at riding, okay, type of thing. So yeah, I got the cards stacked against me this year, guys. I had to pretty much only have to worry about Ted last year, you know. But now we got Joel here we're racing against, and okay. So yeah, I bumped into him, and then I chatted with him. I chatted him during the Saturday race, and then the Sunday race comes along, okay, and then so yeah, you really don't know how many other racers there's going to be until the start of the race when you line up, all right. So yeah, there was a Storm B and the Ultra B, all right. That was Joel and Chris, and then there was a light bee. All right, man, sorry, I forgot his name, man. There was a light. It was a 902. Yep, the one right next to the left of me. All right, 902. Like, dude, we had decked out light bees, man. They were completely modified, just like mine. All right, this guy had EBMX swing arm. He had an EBMX 57 amp hour battery. Okay, the big boy, the biggest battery, literally the biggest battery you can buy, the biggest 72 volt battery you can buy for the light bee. All right, and it's heavy, dude. The 42 amp hour is heavy. Man, the 57, that thing must be a beast. Okay, but so with that 57 amp hour battery, you need to get a seat riser kit. All right, it makes the light bee a little bit longer and taller, you know, so you can put the battery in there. Okay, he was running a 18-21 setup. All right, 18 rear, 21 front. He had a KO. He had the same motor as me. Yeah, he had a KO factory spec motor, and but he had the EBMX X9000. Yeah, so he had the same. Yeah, pretty much the same setup as me, almost. Okay, except I went with the Qi battery. He went with the EBMX battery. Okay. Yeah, and he had the EBMX swing arm. Dude, that swing arm was expensive. That's why HadesOmega didn't buy it. But yeah, his bike was decked out, man. Decked out. He said he was having problems with his electrical stuff on the bike, though. So, he even had a foot brake on it. Okay, guys, a foot brake. Surons don't come with foot brakes. It was an aftermarket dealie, and he said he was having problems with it. It was getting stuck or something. And then, we ran into Hampton. All right, we raced Hampton last year. Okay, and yeah, Hampton did pretty good this year. Okay, I'll talk about it when we get there. Anyway, yeah, so he was racing the same Sauron he did last year. I think he had the same wheel setup, the 18 and 21 setup. I think he had the Komodo controller, and I think he had the motor. Yeah, no, I can't remember. Hampton just kind of showed up at the last second. I didn't really get a chance to chat with him all that much, man. And then he had the Qi battery. All right, yeah, he had the same Qi battery as last year. He's still running 60 volt setup though. Okay, so but he had a big 60 volt. I think he's got like the touring one or something. And he had the long seat from what is it called? Raceback Sauron. Okay. So he told me that, yeah, he's got to take the seat off before he can open the battery lid and change it. So it takes him like 5 minutes to do that. So, yeah. No bueno. All right. I think that other guy, the 902 bike, had a Fox 44. All right. I'm not really sure what Hampton had, man. I can't quite remember. But yeah, I remember he had a Qi battery last year, and he never swapped batteries, and he almost made it without having to swap a battery. Okay, and then there was this other dude, I don't remember, but he had actually watched one of my YouTube videos about Virginia City, and he wanted some information about it. Right? And I told him, I think the one that I told him is, hey, you're gonna want 3 batteries for this race, and you're gonna want to swap a battery every lap. All right, so. So this is the bike he was riding. He was the 905 bike, and Hampton was the 904 bike. So the 905 bike was all decked out too. All right, he's running the same wheel setup as me. I think he was running KKE rims. I'm not sure. It was 16. Yeah, he was running a 16-19 setup just like me. He had a Qi battery Gladiator Compact 72. He had the previous model Gladiator Compact. Okay, it's not like the new one. All right, with the steel cases and everything. Honestly, I don't like these steel cases, man. Why does it need to be steel? Steel is heavy, man. I don't remember what fork he had. Oh yeah, also that the 902. Yeah, I kept on talking about the 902. I got to Google that 902 bike a lot, guys. He had an EXT Arma rear shock too, man. So his bike. So usually HadesOmega has the highest spec Sauron out there, Sauron Lightbee, and I did not. I definitely did not have the highest spec Sauron Lightbee. All right, yeah, man. He had the Fox 40 front forks, and the EXC Armor rear shock and the EBMX swinger. Yeah, man, that bike was decked out, man, decked out for battle. All right. Well, anyway, let's go back to the 905 bike. Oh, the 905 bike had a BSC 4000. All right, man, BSC 4000 will do okay in this race. All right, if it's not a supermoto race, you know, you don't have to worry about it overheating all that much. How did I race it with the BSC 4000? I think I did. Yeah, I did. Oh yeah, that's right. The first race, where the BSC 4000 got wet and it just kept on riding by itself. Yeah. That's all I remember about that race, man. I don't think this controller has that problem with it getting wet. I haven't had any problems with it getting wet and, you know, stuff going crazy, okay? But I did have some stuff going on with my bike, okay? And it's my fault, all right? It's my fault the way I set it up, and I didn't get a chance to test it out anywhere beforehand. And so Virginia City was the guinea pig for this bike, okay? These make his old 2018 Soron Light BMX. Okay, so yeah. So so let's talk about Joel's bike. I think Joel had an Ultra B. And he sells them, all right, at Michael's Reno Power Sports. Okay, they also sell Vargs. Oh well, no, I guess they can't sell Vargs quite yet. But anyway, I think he had KKE front and rear wheels. I think he had a 21-inch front and an 18-inch, like a big 18-inch rear. And other than that, I think he had KKE foot pegs and stuff. Yeah, it had all sorts of KKE stuff on it, right? Other than that, it was a pretty stock bike. Yeah, and he had an extra battery, okay? They borrowed a battery from another Ultra B. They used to use it for the race, okay? And then Chris, his son, raced a Storm-B, and I was so excited. That's my first time I ever seen this Storm-B, you know? That was one of the bikes I kind of wanted to buy, you know, for like a supermoto bike, okay? But then I bought the Redshift, so it's like, I was like, you know. But yeah, it was tall. I got to sit on it, and man, I was on my tippy toes when I was on that bike, man. It's a lot of bike, man. It's like riding an Alta, dude. Yeah, it weighs the same weight as the Alta, okay? And yeah, so that's the scoop. It was a Storm-B. I think it was stock. He said he had a problem with the battery, and he had to get another battery, so he only had one battery, unfortunately. Okay. So yeah, so that's the scoop. All right, so you got an Storm-B, an Ultra B, and 4 Light Bs, right? 1, 2, 3. Yep, 4 Light Bs. So there was 6 bikes. It was a 6 Soron bike race. All right, you might as well just call it the Soron class, okay? But yeah, there was no other manufacturer electric bikes out there. Come on, nobody else wants to go race any other. I know there's got that Beta Explorer bike just came out, or the RFN Apollo, whatever. You know, there's all sorts of bikes out there. All right, but anyway, so yeah, it's race time, and like so. So one thing about this Virginia City Grand Prix, I think it's the 53rd or 53rd Virginia City Grand Prix, I think. The one thing about Virginia City Grand Prix 2024 is that there was a ton of riders, man. Saturday they had like 500 riders, and Sunday they had like 500 riders. No joke, man. The whole street was filled full of dirt bikes, man. You couldn't even see the front, man. There was so many things, you know. It was nuts, man. So yeah, we're just waiting there in the back, and yeah, so they do the national anthem. We didn't even hear it in the back, so we didn't know until like at the last second. Oh, we're doing the national anthem, and then the race starts, and it takes like 10 minutes to get to the front because there's so many bikes. They had to just row after row after row. Yeah, it took like 10 minutes to get up there because like our time is like adjusted 10 minutes behind, right? Because of that. So the green flag goes up and we go, all right? And also HadesOmega has 3 cameras this time. So this time I didn't lose any footage, all right? You guys are gonna see everything, all right? And I'm glad I brought the GoPro, all right? I brought the GoPro and I got 2 Ion cameras, and you'll find out why it was a good idea to bring the GoPro camera on the 3rd lap, okay? So yeah, we go, and then we're off, and then I think Chris gets in front of everybody. And then I managed to pass Joel. I wrapped him really hard. The Ultra V only has like 12 kilowatts of power, guys. Oh yeah. So here's the power modes I have set up on this bike. And maybe it might be a little too much for Virginia City, but definitely you need the power to go up the hills. All right. I had mode 1. All right. Race mode 1 is 10 kilowatts. Race mode 2, 15 kilowatts. Race mode 3, 22 kilowatts, all right? And needless to say, I didn't really use race 3, all right? The plan was to not use race mode 3, okay? We don't need that kind of power in Virginia City, man. Well, I don't know. But yeah, so the name of the game is like, yeah, you gotta go fast, but you also have to kind of conserve your battery, all right? So rumor has it, all right? The rumor has it, everyone was telling me this, that the red loop, that the track, the course that we race on, all right, with the red plates, all right, for the electric class, is 8 miles, all right. There was somebody told me, a number of people told me, like, yeah, we think it's 8 miles or something. And I was like, oh, well, if it's 8 miles, that's a cakewalk. That's not very long. We'll be able to do that, no problem. We should be able to do 2 laps on each battery, you know, type of thing, right? Because yeah, you know, the at least my Light V, it goes 20 miles in the dirt, all right. So yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, we might be able to pull this 4 laps thing off, all right? And no. Anyway, yeah. So the race starts, and I passed Joel, and I got some air. I got some air going out down the street and everything, and we were going hella fast down that street. And the batteries are fully charged when you're going down there the first time, and you got no regen. I got no regen, because you can't regen when your battery's fully charged, guys. It overcharges the battery. So so the KO Moto, if you regen and the battery's fully charged, if you do it too much, it'll actually cut, the BMS will cut it out. It'll like say over voltage, and it'll go to sleep for a second and then turn back on, all right? The good thing, nice thing about this eBMX controller, it has a good power management, okay? And when the battery's fully charged, you don't get any regen, all right? You're not gonna get any regen until you drain me a little bit, all right? And I had no regen going down that hill. I had to use the mechanical brake. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing I put some fresher, I didn't put some brand new pads, but I put some fresher pads in the front brakes, all right? And I have some fresh rear brake pads from when I did the Moab trip, okay? Yeah, so I knew my brakes were in pretty good shape. Actually, the front brakes weren't they were like already half worn. So the lessons learned: change your brakes before the race, HadesOmega, especially Virginia City, when you know you're going to be going down these steep ass downhills the whole time. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So we followed. I don't know. Did Joel get in front of me? Yeah, I think Joel got in front of me on that straight somehow. Yeah, I think I was behind him for a while. I was like, oh, just follow Joel. Just follow Joel. All the other Light Vs were right behind us. Okay. We passed a bunch of scooters coming up, and then I was following Joel for a while, and then so there's the course was pretty much the same as last year, guys. Almost. I don't think there was much different about it compared to last year. So there's an easy split and a hard split. The hard split, it goes up a steep hill, you know, and then the easy split, you go around the mountain, and then you go up this hill, and then you go up another hill type of thing. And so the other way is kind of a shortcut, but it's steeper and harder, right? But and if you don't have a lot of power, you're not going to get up it, guys. But with the 15 kilowatts, I was able to get up it fairly easily. All right, not the most graceful, but I got up it pretty well. All right, that power definitely helped a whole lot. Okay, And well, anyway, yeah, we didn't. Oh yeah. So that's the spoilers. The second and third lap, I took the hard loop. For the first lap, I took the easy route because I knew there was going to be that carnage at that hill. There's always that carnage at the hill, man. And I think so. The 905 bike, the dude riding the 905 bike was fast, man. That dude was really fast. He passed me several times throughout the race. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, he was ripping. He could ride that bike. I'm telling you, man. And he passed me. He passed me before we got up that hill, and then we were going through. We were picking our way through the carnage and stuff. I was still behind him for a little while, and then I think I kind of got stuck in the middle. Yeah, I kind of got stuck in the middle, and then he took off, and I didn't see him again. And then yeah, so I didn't see Joel, and I didn't see the 905 bike. I'm not sure. I may have passed Joel in that section because Joel passed me later on. Okay, I know that. And yeah, so and then I'm riding, and shit, I've already got a problem with my bike, right? Or not even like a few miles into the race, and my battery lid freaking flips open. And it breaks my battery meter, all right? My Drock battery meter that's on my my custom-made battery meter. Yeah, it just, I guess it hit the key or something when it flipped open. And then I had a little black cloth on top of this for padding and stuff for the Qi battery. And I don't know what happened, man. That lid just flew right open, man. I think maybe the latch is worn out or something, okay? But yeah, so that's a scoop. We did that. The lid just flipped wide open, right? And then I had to close it, and then the cloth fell down. It was like back there. I was like, oh shit, just leave it there, man. So we just kept on going, okay? So I lost that little black cloth, unfortunately. We're just gonna have to find something else to pad the battery with, okay, guys? What I think we could use is these airbags. I see some people use these airbags, but I'm pretty, yeah, you know, I don't like this setup, guys. I don't like having 3 different size batteries. All right, I would rather have 3 batteries that are all the same, and I don't have to keep on putting spacers or some kind of padding in there so the battery doesn't hop up and down too much. But you know what? That was the only instance that ever happened. Okay, guys. So I raced the rest of that lap, all right, with without that cloth. I just put it back down, and it was fine. I was worried the wires are going to get cut. And you know, one thing I don't like about this Qi battery is it's got a lot of sharp corners, a lot of sharp edges and stuff, and it can cut wires. So I think what I'm going to do is start wrapping wires with, like, you know, duct tape or something to make them, you know, to add more insulation to them so they don't get cut so easily, type of thing. That's one thing I don't like about this. Even the edges on the Qi battery, they're sharp, and the battery wires, they rub up on it and then they get all chewed up. I don't like it. I would rather just have a shrink wrap, something like this, like the Lightspeed battery. Okay. Anyway, yeah, and then there was like a lot of downhills. Oh, there were some nasty downhills, and I was having all sorts of problems with the regen. All right, for a while it worked good, and I didn't learn my lesson with the last regen throttle. You don't put the regen throttle next to the grip because the paddle touches the grip. Now, I didn't have that problem when I raced Supermoto, but when I raced in the dirt, I had all sorts of problems with it today. Okay, so yeah. Let me talk about these problems I had with the bike. All right, I had no mechanical problems with the bike though. I'll tell you that, man. The forks ran great. I have to say the rear suspension, too stiff. All right, I think I should have softened it a little more, but I was just too tired, too lazy to adjust it. Okay. So what's so hard about turning the compression adjuster like 1 or 2 clicks? HadesOmega, yeah. But yeah, anyway, yeah, we're going around. I can't remember. I didn't have a single clean lap, guys. I had like lots of crashes, and some of the crashes were attributed to following too closely, there was a lot of traffic out there, guys, man. There would be these bikes that pass you, they would dust you, or you would be following another bike, and then you can't really see around them too much. And then this rock comes up, or there's a rut, and you fall in it, and you drop the bike. Yeah, man, it was mayhem out there, man, mayhem. So that I had a couple drops and stuff because of that, because I just couldn't see. It was just too dusty. I was hoping there's going to be some hero dirt out there. There was no hero dirt out there. Okay, so we're going, and yeah, he's making us crash here and there. So I'm having serious problems with the eBMX controller, okay? And more specifically, the regen throttle and the egg rider display, right? The two things that my bike didn't have last year, right? So I used to have a regen throttle with the BAC controller, and I had a problem with it one time where it would get stuck on the grip, all right? So the grip has those, you know, thingies on it. Now, one thing we could do is cut the grip, I guess, so it doesn't have those thingamajiggers on there anymore. Yeah, I guess we could do that. We could cut the whole grip around it, and that would work. Or we could move the regen throttle on the other side of the egg rider, all right? So we might try that out, all right? We'll try that out for the next race. Hopefully it'll work out. But yeah, so it gets caught on the grip. And there was a number of times where yeah, so I remember, like, when we were going down a steep section, there was a lot of steep section. There had to been, there's almost a handful of steep downhills, guys. There was a lot of downhills, and some of them were not friendly, right? There was like rocks and shit everywhere, and you didn't want to roll over the rocks, right? Yeah, it was nasty, these downhills, man. And I was trying to use the regen to slow me down, but it was too sensitive. It takes a lot of effort to go like half throttle and then full throttle, or it's easier just to go full throttle, you know. But the full throttle, it just locks up the tire, you know, so too much. So I think I don't really need to lock the rear up all that much. I think what it would have really helped is to lower the regen strength down. I hate to say it, yeah. The regen was adequate, I'll tell you that. And well, okay, I'm not gonna lie, if we probably had put fresher tires on this, we probably had better regen braking, okay? Because like the back was just getting all crazy all over the place sometimes going down those hills. Sometimes I would get tired and I'd go back to using the mechanical brake. So it's like go back to like, yes, it's a good idea that we put new pads on the bike, all right, type of thing. We had newer pads. And then so another problem I was having was, so the problem was the regen throttle would get stuck, and then I would be at the bottom of the hill, and the bike would just stop, right? Because the regen is stuck, and it's doing regen, and then I would give it throttle. I'm like, hey, my bike stopped. I thought a number of times that the controller stalled or something, or it just wouldn't let me do anything, but it took me quite a while. It took me like 2 laps to figure out what was going on. And what's going on is the regen throttle was getting stuck, and it wasn't letting me accelerate anymore. I was like, that's why when I get to the bottom of the hill, I was like, this controller has a problem. When I get to the bottom of the hill, it stops working. It doesn't go anymore. Well, it turns out what I'm doing is, I'm getting on the regen throttle. It's getting stuck, and then when I need to accelerate at the bottom of the hill, I can't because the regen throttle is activated. So I have to remember to flick it up at least, you know. But yeah, we're gonna fix that problem, guys. I told myself, like, hey, I wonder if this regen throttle has that problem, and it does. Okay, so the way to fix it is we're gonna put the egg rider next to the grip, and then move the throttle on the other side of the egg rider. Okay, so now I have other problems with the egg rider. So I broke my battery gauge. That's another thing, okay, that was kind of hindering me during the race. Like, I like to check to see how much charge. It's very important to figure out how much charge you have during the race, guys. So I had my dropped battery gauge, and it broke. Remember the lid flipped open and the gauge broke. Yeah, so I couldn't tell how much charge I had. It's got nice big illuminated numbers and stuff. It's easier to read than the freaking egg rider, guys. The egg rider, the numbers are these teeny tiny little things. You can't see it while you're riding, man. I'm like, the bike is like shaking all over. Yeah, you can't see it, man. And it's much easier to see the drop battery meter, man. I'll tell you that, man. So yeah, so that was the thing. I couldn't figure out how much charge I have unless I like stopped the bike and look, like I have to squint at it. It's so small, man. It also has like a bar gauge, but yeah, so I'm definitely gonna get a new drop battery meter. It's a bummer. I've had that battery meter for like 4 years now, man, and it's done a good job. All right, I think I got another one in here somewhere, but I have it epoxied to the freaking lid, so we're gonna have to do something about that lid type of thing. So yeah, there was that problem, and then I had another problem with the egg rider. Okay. So I kind of learned, like, hey, you know what? If you put your thumb on, I'm putting my thumb on something, and I'm using it to just kind of barely touch the throttles, and then it kind of braces my thumb, so like I have a support for my thumb to hold the throttle halfway, because it's very difficult to hold the regen throttle like halfway. It's just, you know, it takes a lot of you know, muscle, like thumb strength and stuff to do that, as opposed to just mashing it all the way down. That's why I was thinking it probably would have been better if we just lowered the regen, man. All right, and if you just needed more braking, just use front brake or use a more rear brake or something. I don't know. The mode switch, it sucks on this bike, man. I hate to say it, man. I like the old Eco and Sport switch that the KO Moto had. It's so simple, you know. You flick it up, it's Eco. You flick it down, it's sport mode, all right? I don't really need 3 modes, man. I just need a fast and a not so fast mode, right? And well, we had 3, and then so it goes back to the egg rider again. It's so small, I can't see the numbers on it. I can't tell what mode we're in, man. Several times, like Dust would get over it. Several times I would look at it, I'm like, what mode are we in? I don't know, man. Shit, like, I'd have to like give it a little throttle to see if it had power, you know. There's a lot of times I wanted to switch between 10 kilowatts and 15 kilowatts, all right, mode 1 and mode 2. Like downhills, I like the more gentle throttle, so I don't like whiskey throttle. And then like when I'm going uphill, yeah, I need the response and the power to get up the hill. And yeah, it just didn't have it, man. A lot of crashes happened because of that. Well, one really bad crash. I had a really bad crash because of this. We were going down the hill, and I was using the regen. So I was finding out, I was wondering why the bike doesn't run when I get down the hill. So another reason the bike doesn't run, all right, because remember I said the regen throttle is like, it's stuck. Well, that wasn't the only problem. The other problem was I was accidentally hitting the egg rider display, all right, and it was changing the modes. So and so this thing has a reverse, a neutral, like a mode 0, and a 1, 2, and a 3. So if you put it, and this is what happened. This is what happened to me on the 3rd lap, and then I'll go back through the play-by-play. Okay, guys, I'm going through all the bad stuff that happened on the bike. All right, because like I had like all sorts of problems with the EBMX dealie. Okay, so I had a very bad crash, guys. I was going down the hill and I had it in. I accidentally put it in mode 0. Right, mode 0 does nothing. No throttle input, no regen. It does nothing. Or it just coasts. Okay, and then so I didn't have regen. I couldn't slow the bike down, you know, and I guess I couldn't get on the brakes fast enough, and I was going too fast going down the hill, and I couldn't do anything because the bike, nothing was working. The regen wasn't working, the throttle wasn't working, nothing. All right, I get, like I said, I didn't get on the brakes fast enough, and I went over the handlebars. All right, I went over the handlebars and I hit my head on something, a rock or something, really hard, and I was on the ground for like a minute, man. I hit my head so hard that I was like, ouch, man, that hurts a lot. Like somebody punched me in the back of my head or something, you know.
Oh shit!
It's a good thing I was wearing that helmet, because if I wasn't, my skull would probably be cracked open. Okay. I looked at the helmet after and I was like, that's weird. I don't see any marks on the helmet. it must have hit it just like square, like flat. And the good thing is, I guess it distributed all the energy, but man, it still hurt a whole lot. It rung my bell, type of thing. Okay, I was on the ground for a while, you know, and there was people trying to get around me. They're asking me, "Hey, are you all right, man?" I'm like, I think I'm okay. I'm like, let me just. And the nice thing is, when I got up and I got the bike running again. And I think that's when I figured out. I think like later on I figured out, yeah, I think that's what's happening. You're putting it in mode 0. There's a number of times where like I would accidentally put it in reverse or mode 0. So yeah, man, I'm not a big fan of that egg rider. That egg rider does not work good in the trails, man. Yeah, I'm not happy with the way that thing works on the trails. I liked the KO Moto, having the eco and sport mode switch, but you can't do that with this. You can't have it. If you do install the eco and sport mode switch, the only thing it does is it turns it into a reverse switch. That's it. Okay, but maybe that would be good. Then you wouldn't put it on reverse anymore. But also don't like that mode 0. I feel like it's unnecessary. I wish there was a way to stop it. I know it's kind of nice to have it. It's kind of like having a park on a vehicle, right? So when you put it on park, it doesn't go anywhere, right? Type of thing. It's kind of nice. Sometimes I like to leave my bike on, and so I don't want people to just accidentally twist the throttle and it takes off. So you could put it in a mode 0, you know. But you know, I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of that mode 0. And the reverse, honestly, I don't think the reverse helped me at all out there. Okay, I didn't really use the reverse at all. That, or I just forgot I had it, right, type of thing. Yeah. So, and I don't think it would be strong enough to help me on the trails anyway, you know. But yeah, what would happen is I would put it. I would be going down the hill, and I guess I would accidentally press the button, or I would forget what mode we're in, and I would put it in 0, and then the bike would just stall. It wouldn't run anymore. And I'd be like, what the hell? I would turn the bike on, turn the bike off, turn it back on, and yeah, man, it's like it like froze or something, but it turns out I was putting it in mode 0 or reverse, and when I twist the throttle, it doesn't do anything, alright? So when in reverse, the reverse mode is very weak, so sometimes you won't even know you're in reverse, man, like if you're on a hill. Yeah, so I was having all sorts of problems with that egg rider. I'm actually not a big fan of it. I don't think I've ridden it too much off-road when I had the egg rider with the BIC controller. Yeah, and I kind of don't like it anymore, man. It's a nice display, but like it's so small you can't really see the numbers. You can't like it's hard to tell what mode you're in. There's too many modes, man. I just need a fast mode and a slow mode. That's it. All right. If I want to go really fast, then I'll whip my phone out and I'll reprogram it so I can have more power, you know. But yeah, I think 3 modes is too much. All right. I know the Alta has 4 modes and it works for it, you know. But yeah, but even on the Alta, I can't even tell what mode I'm in. So yeah, it's better just have a eco and like you can have like a 3-way switch. How about that? Just have a switch that goes in 3 positions. I don't like having to press this little toggle switch up and down to switch modes. It doesn't work very good. All right, guys. I don't have too much seat time on a dirt bike Alta either. All right. On a Supermoto, it's okay. I just leave it on mode 4 all the time for a Supermoto. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So those were the major problems I had, and because I put it in neutral going down the hill, also my camera ripped off of my helmet, so you'll see on the 3rd lap, most of it is like GoPro footage. All right, I actually swapped the cameras when I went to the pits on the 2nd lap, and I used a new camera, and then the camera got ripped off of the helmet when I had that bad crash. Okay, and I had to take the camera out, and I had to put it in my pouch. It's a good thing I had that pouch, man, to put stuff in it. All right, yeah, so that. The camera was just dangling there on the audio cord, the microphone cord. Yeah, man, it was bad. So I took that out and I turned the GoPro on. I actually turned the GoPro on after the first camera died, and then I turned it off when I got to the pits. I was like, okay. Well, let's just use the Ion camera first, and then we'll use the GoPro last. So I turned it off. So you guys will see in the video footage that. the first lap is all ion, and the second lap is mostly ion, and then there's a little bit of portion like towards the end of the lap is it becomes a GoPro footage. All right, it's a chest cam, guys. And the third lap, most of the third lap is just is GoPro footage. Okay, and that's because the camera got ripped off of my helmet, man. So that's okay. I have a lot of sticky pads that I can put it back on with. So yeah, it's a bummer that happened, but yeah, I always have some kind of camera malfunction during these races, man. During the Virginia City Grand Prix, man. I think this year I got all the footage though, so I can't wait to review it. Okay, so anyway, so here's how it goes. The first lap, let's go back to how the race went. All right, so whatchamacallit, so the 905 guy passed me. I think most of the first lap. I don't know. I passed the 905 bike. I passed the 905 bike somewhere. I don't know where because he passed me again. All right, he passed me again. And I tried to keep up with him, and I couldn't keep up with him. He was so fast, man. Yeah, he was riding the balls off of that bike, man. And HadesOmega's, I'm not gonna lie, I was hurting on the first lap already, guys. I'm out of shape, man. It's always the same story. HadesOmega needs to work out more, type of thing. I haven't been working out at all, man. I think that was about maybe 3/4 through the first lap. All right, and so we don't know how far we're going. Rumor has it that it was 8 miles. All right, so and then I know I'm heading back to the town. I'm looking at how many miles we have, and I'm looking at how much charge we have in the battery. And I'm looking at it. We're getting kind of close to like half charge, and we're getting close to half charge, like 72 volts. And we're not back at the town yet, man. We're not back at the pits yet. So what gives, man? Like we've already gone like 12 miles or something, right? I keep on looking at it. It's 12 miles, 13 miles. When are we gonna be there, man? Like it turns out one lap is 15 miles, guys. I think that's the longest it's ever been for the red loop. I've never seen a red loop that's that long. Okay, I think last year was 12 miles, so it wasn't so bad. Okay, so I had major problems trying to get the bike back without it dying, okay? Well, at least the second lap I did, okay? The first lap, so remember, my plan was to use the 2 laps with the Qi battery, all right? The new battery that I bought, because it's the biggest battery, has the most capacity and the most power, and you could just rip it. All right, well, I rode really fast on the first lap, guys. I had a lot of energy, you know, I was like, yeah, let's go. And then, so we're close to 15 miles. I'm looking at it, and we're pretty much at 50%. I was like, oh shit, it's kind of sketchy whether we're gonna make it back with 50% charge, guys. so I make the decision. Okay, we're not gonna do this 4-lap thing. We're not gonna do 2 laps on the Qi battery. All right, we're just gonna do one lap, 1 battery. Okay, and that was a good call. Okay. Now, I'm not sure, this battery might have been able to do it if we had conserved power, okay, if I didn't ride so fast. But, yeah, so on the second lap, okay, we go in the pits, all right, okay, so the best the bike performed was the first lap because I had the Qi battery, okay? The Qi battery is awesome. It's my newest battery. It's got 38 amp hours. It can handle 22 hours continuous. It can take a lot of punishment, this battery. All right, I'm pretty sure I didn't even push it that hard, man. And it delivered, all right? But it was at half charge when we came back. And I was like, well, if it's half charge, you might not make it back at half charge. If on the first lap, I was like, if on the first lap you've got like 70% left, yeah, go ahead and try to do another lap. But no, I was like, I wasn't feeling it. I was like, it's 15-mile laps. This is no bueno. This is not good. This is bad. And I knew everyone else is going to have problems with that too. Okay. So I get back to the pits, and I think I see. Well, I saw Ted. I saw Ted in the pits, and I've already decided. Yeah, we're going to swap the batteries. I was thinking we're going to go back out for a second lap, but I see Ted there, and Ted is supposed to be racing his WR250. This is the number 8 bike, and like he was out of the race already. He had some problem with his bike, so that sucks, man. But yeah, he was helping me swap the battery. We swapped the battery, and he told me, he told me that I think Joel just left or something. Yeah, I think Joel got back before me. Joel was in front of me, and he left like 5 minutes ago or something. I might be able to catch him, and then I don't think I saw Joel again after that. And then I saw the 905 bike. All right, the 905 bike was there, and they were doing something with it. I knew he had a problem. He had a problem because he had 72 volt battery and he had two 60 volt batteries, so he needs to reprogram his bike to run on 60 volts. That's why I don't run 72. That's why I don't run 60 volt batteries, guys, because it's a hassle swapping between 72 and 60 volts. All right, guys. Yeah, I guess he has to do something. Even on this bike, I have to do that. All right, I have to go in the EBMX app and put like 60 volt battery and then put it in there. All right, I don't know if it does it automatically. Maybe it does. I never tried, man. I just stick with 72 volts. I stick to one voltage. All right, that's why I sold my 60 volt battery a while ago. So yeah, so I went and swapped the battery, and then the 905 bike was still in the pits when I was there. Yeah, I think I passed them. They were doing something to the bike, and then I saw the 902 bike. Yeah, was it 902? No, yeah, I saw the 902 bike, the guy with the decked out light bee. I saw him come in as I came out of the pits. All right, so I was like, I knew I was in front of him. All right, I know I'm in front of Hampton, and the guy. Sorry, I forgot his name, man. The guy on the tricked out light bee. And with the one with the 57 amp hour battery. And then so yeah, I'm off, I'm going, and then so here's what I told myself: if we're doing a battery a lap, that means we should have plenty of charge when we come back. We should have about half a charge. So you know what that means? You can ride hard. You can ride really, really hard. All right. So that's what I did. I went as fast as I could. There were some pavement sections. The 6 mile, it was called 6 Mile Canyon, and you're riding through this canyon, and it's just a paved, kind of windy road a little bit, and you can hold that sucker wide open. You can go like 50, 60 miles an hour on it, with the light bee, man. And that's what I did. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, yeah, we got a lot of power. If I'd known that earlier, I probably would have gone faster with this guy, man. But yeah, I tried to ride like really fast, and like I said, I had a bunch of problems crashing and stuff. But I think about halfway through, maybe before, maybe in the first half of the second lap, the 905 bike passes me. I hear a Suron behind me. It's like the Suron has this distinct sound, right? That's what I say. I hear a Suron light bee, okay, and then he passes me, and then I didn't see him again. I think that was it. I think I was, like I said, it was the same story. I tried to keep up with him, and I just couldn't keep up with him. He's so fast, man. He's a hell of a rider, I'll tell you that. And then I didn't see anybody else after that. Yeah, I don't know. Joel told me he had some problem. He ran out of charge, okay, guys? He ran out of charge going up the hill on the way back to the pits, all right? Because it's all pavement and asphalt, and you can just rip it, right? Well, I ran out of charge on my second lap, all right? So this battery, the 30 amp hour battery, oh, I'm hurting right now, right? This battery, okay? The Lightspeed Bike's 32 amp hour battery, it gave out on me, all right? So I've been having problems with this battery ever since Moab, all right? I took it for a ride one time, and I thought I would have plenty of range to make it back, and I didn't. Something is wrong with some of the cells in this battery. Okay, guys? Yeah, some of the cells are bad in this battery, and I think they need to be replaced because it doesn't balance it right, and you can't charge it all the way because it doesn't balance right. And yeah, I think some of the cells, something is wrong with some of the cells, all right? Or maybe something is up with the way the battery is constructed. I don't know, man. I'm probably gonna have to get somebody to open it up and repair it, man. Maybe send it back to whatever the company Lightspeed is now. I don't know, man. I don't know if anybody works on these batteries anymore. Okay, so here's the scoop, guys. So I'm ripping it with I told, like I said, I told myself, yeah, man, we should have no problem making it back with this, and I didn't make it back, guys. The bike cut out. The bike cut out. So there's a pavement section, all right. There's one pavement section, and then you go out in the dirt and you do like a loop or something, and then you go back out on that pavement. And when I got there, I ripped it, all right? I ripped it, and I rode it really hard. I was passing all these bikes. I was having a good time. And then I can feel the bike cutting out. Like when I go wide open throttle, it'll cut out. And then I was like, oh, maybe the battery's dying or something. Don't twist it too much. So I twisted like halfway or something, all right? And then yeah, I'm trying to milk the battery back to the pits. And it dies on the hill going back to the pits, guys. And this hill is steep, man. It's really steep. It just goes up, 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 up. It's a step-up thing. It goes like this. It goes straight and then up again. All right. Remember, we rode down it. All right. But we're trying to ride up it now. All right. And it takes a lot of power to get up there. And the battery just kept on cutting out. It cut out. Maybe some people were trying to help me get up the hill and stuff. But yeah, what I would do is I would turn the bike off and then turn it back on and try to turn it back on, but it wouldn't turn back on. I think the BMS and the battery, it won't let you discharge the module below a certain voltage because it might get damaged, all right? But I would turn it off, turn it on, and then go again. There should have been 50% charge. Right now there's 40% charge. When I came back to the pits, I had 40 something percent. So it still had plenty of charge, but it just, it didn't deliver, guys. So there's something wrong with this battery, okay? So I had to push the bike a little bit, and then I got it over, and then finally I made it to the top where the flat part is, and then like I was able to ride it to the pits, and I swapped out the battery, okay? And so I had to use this towel also as a spacer for both of these batteries. The good thing is I didn't lose it. So I guess the towel is there to stay, guys. So that was a scoop for the second lap. Yeah, I had I didn't have a single clean lap, I'll tell you that, guys. I had crashes every lap, so it was tough. And I was getting dusted by people. There was, like I said, remember, there was 500 people racing. So many people passed me, and it's so annoying when somebody comes up behind you and is like, well, I don't want to slow down to let them pass, but, I mean, I should, but it's like I don't want to slow down because it takes energy to go back, get back up to speed, And we would just get dusted by all these other bikes and roosted. They would be kicking rocks and stuff at us. It was awful, man. My face was so dirty after the race, man. Yeah, and there was just no hero dirt out there. I thought there would be, but there wasn't. So yeah, so we go out for the third lap. I find out that Chris, all right, Chris on the Ultra B, all right, Chris on the Storm B, all right, the big Sauron, right, he's out of the race, okay. It turns out Chris did really, really good. He ripped it out there. The reason we didn't see Chris the whole time is because he was in front of us, all right. He pretty much murdered us all right, on the Storm B. So the Storm B is the real deal, guys. It's got real, it's got suspension, big beefy suspension, kind of like an Alta. It's very comparable to an Alta. I don't think it's got the same power as an Alta, but it still gets around, all right, type of thing. And he must have rode it really well, all right. And the only problem is he didn't have a second battery. Remember I was saying he had problems with the battery, and so he couldn't get a second battery, and yeah, so that was the end of his race. So after 2 laps, he said he had 10% left at the end of the second lap, so he couldn't go back out again. So that's the end of the race for Chris. Sorry, bro. If you had another battery, you probably could have won this race. Type of thing. That's kind of sad, right? But yeah, after the second lap, everything just kind of fell apart for everyone. I never saw Hampton. I never saw that other guy, the 902 bike. And then the 905 bike was in the pits when I was there, and I swapped the thing. I swapped the battery to small battery, and I was like, oh shit, I don't know how good we're gonna do with this battery. Okay, so I was having a problem with this battery in Moab, where it was cutting out. When I was hitting big jumps and bumps and stuff, it would cut out. And I found out, I think I replaced the breaker, but I never confirmed it, all right? I did race it on the Supermoto, and it cut out a bunch of times in the Supermoto race also. So it's got, so I verified it, all right? It finished that lap without cutting out, all right? It was the breaker was the problem, right, guys? So I fixed that problem, and that battery ran spectacularly, all right, on the third lap. The problem was, HadesOmega was all spent on the third lap. I was so tired, man. We've already ridden 30 miles, and we got to ride another 15. I'm like, hell no, man. And we were just under like 2 hours. Yeah, we were just right around the 2 hour mark. We were doing about an hour a lap almost, maybe a little less than an hour a lap. And so we went out. And so I passed a 905 bike. Something happened to his bike or something. I don't know what happened. I don't remember before. Maybe he'll see my video and he'll chime in, you know, tell me what happened to his bike. I didn't see him after that. So, so yeah, I think he had a problem with his bike and he couldn't go back out. And then, and so it was just me and Joel out there, guys. And I don't know what happened to the 902 bike. I never saw it again. And I think Hampton was the 904 bike. Yeah, Hampton was the 904 bike, and I did see Hampton, okay? I saw Hampton when I came back for the third lap, all right? About 5 minutes, yeah, it was somewhere around 5-10 minutes after I finished the third lap, I saw him rolling through the pits, okay? So it looks like he finished, all right? Yeah, good job, Hampton. So that's a scoop. The third lap was the one where I crashed really bad. I hit the back of my head. I lost a lot of time because of that, because I had to pick myself up over the ground. I had to fix the camera and all that stuff. I had to get the GoPro all ready and everything. Like, I can't see anything with the helmet on, man. Like, I have to like pull the GoPro out and like look at it. Is it recording or not? I don't know. Yeah, I'll tell you this. After I ate it hella hard, I felt kind of refreshed. I was like, oh, I feel like I feel better now. Like, I'm not as tired anymore because I got a little break type of thing. Yeah. But yeah, I was spent. I was beat. My legs and my arms were all beat up, kind of like how it was last year when I tried to do the fourth lap. Yeah, that 15-mile loop, it just destroyed me, man. I'll tell you. And also another thing I told myself is, hey, I don't want to have problems like we had with the other battery. Don't rip it, all right? So I told myself, you just leave it in eco mode and don't go very fast, all right? Only if you need to use the power to go up the hills, put it in mode 2, all right? And that's what I did, all right? For the most part, the third lap was really mellow, and you can see that in the lap times. And also, yeah, I had that really bad crash, okay? So there's that. And I had all these problems with the bike, like stopping and stalling and stuff. Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna fix the stuff with the egg rider, but we can fix the regen throttle. Okay, hopefully we can get that squared away. But the changing the modes and stuff, I'm not a big fan of that on the egg rider. I can't tell what speed I can't tell what gear, what mode we're in, because the numbers are so small. Why can't they just have a big number thingy that tells you 1, 2, 3, 4? You know. I just want a mode switch, man. Flick it up, flick it down, you know. Sport mode, eco mode. That's all I need, man. So yeah, so that's the scoop, guys. The third lap was pretty mellow. I did take the hard split again. All right, I took the hard split on the second lap, and we got up it no problem. I'm not gonna say no problem, but not the most gracefully. But we got up it. All right, I had to use that 15 kilowatt power, but 15 kilowatt motors up that, no problem. I tell you that, dude. Yeah, when there's nobody on the hill, it's easy to go up the hills, man. And I have to say, yeah, I felt like the race was more difficult because there was more bikes out there. It's so annoying when somebody's behind you and like you're like, should I let them pass? I don't know, man. And then there's like slow bikes in front of you. There's people crashing in front of you. Oh my god, dude. racing with people, all right? Racing with people makes it twice as hard because you have to like go around them, or you have to let them go. You have to change what you want to do because there's other people out there. Okay? It makes it difficult. And like I said, this is the biggest Virginia City Grand Prix I've ever raced in, all right? 500 riders. It's insane. So that made this race very difficult because there were so many riders. That's one thing I was complaining. And I was getting dusted and all this stuff. Yeah, so that's a scoop. All right, okay, guys? I made it through the third lap without, after that big crash, not too many problems, okay? Yeah, I was just spent, like, going over the whoops. I couldn't, like, pull the handlebars up anymore, and I didn't really feel like going fast in the flat sections. And I told myself not to, remember? I had problems with this battery not delivering its range, the capacity. But it turns out that small battery is still in good shape, all right? It's a good thing I fixed the breaker on it. That was a serious issue with it, and then this one's got an issue. Both of my batteries are no good anymore, man. I don't know. They're good, but you can't ride them very far. So I don't know. I don't think we should use this battery in the next Virginia City Grand Prix. Okay, the 32 amp hour. Yeah, no bueno. That's what I'll say. Okay, so that's a scoop. I think the third lap was the longest. Oh yeah, we'll have a results video. Okay, I've already looked at the results. I finished the third lap, and I think I did say I could. I looked at it. What I was doing, I was looking at the voltmeter on the egg rider. I was looking at it when we're hitting the pavement sections, and I was twisting it halfway, and I'm looking at it to see if it hits 60 volts. If it hits 60 volts, it's gonna cut out, all right? And so I would put it in mode 2 and just give it half throttle, and then I probably could have just gone full throttle, okay? Because this battery doesn't have that kind of problem, the same problem with capacity, because it doesn't have a bad module in it or something, So yeah, so that's a scoop. So we finished, and okay, so we finished just under 3 hours, guys. All right, I'm looking at my GPS. All right, my GPS has the time that we've been moving on it. All right, and it says like 2 hours and 40 something, 2 hours and 48 minutes, something like that. All right, and I see people. I see the chicken coop. All right, I see people chicken cooping. All right. What it is that you'll see people like hanging out on the side of the trail or the race course, and they're just hanging out there, and they're waiting for the 3 hour mark to roll by. And what happens after 3 hours? The race ends, right? So if you cross the finish line, at 3 hours, you finished, right? Well, I knew that we're only going to get scored on the first 3 laps, okay, guys? And they made it really difficult with the 15 laps on every I think it was difficult on everyone, okay? Because they threw that curveball at us. They gave us a 15-mile loop, man. It was not good, okay? It was not good for us battery-wise. Like Joel probably would have made it back no problem if the amount of miles was less, type of thing. All right, same thing with maybe the Storm Bee. Maybe the Storm Bee could have done a third lap if the laps weren't so long, okay? Type of thing. They were long, man. And sometimes I was wondering, like, how many more miles do we have left to go? We still got like 5 miles, man. It's taking forever. Type of thing. But yeah, so that was a scoop. I crossed I didn't stop. I kept on going, guys. I passed all those suckers, man. I saw these people going up the hill slow. I was like, get out of my way. I'm gonna finish. And I knew, like, I don't care. So I could have chicken cooped it. I could have waited in a chicken coop until the 3 hours were up, and then, but there was a risk in that, because since we're only scored off the 3 laps, if somebody came up behind me and they passed me while I'm doing the chicken coop thing, they would have got screwed. We would have lost the place. All right. So I said, hey, you know what? I'm gonna take the lower time. I'm going to take the lower time, but I won't finish, all right? So I go up there, and I told them, hey, they tell me, like, hey, you got to go out and do a 4th lap. But I told them, hey, I'm on an electric bike. We only have to do 3 laps, and I don't have enough charge to do a 4th lap. And they said, like, well, then just whatever. Just go back to the. You can't cross the finish line, Merlin. So I didn't cross the finish line, and I didn't get a finisher pin, and I didn't get interviewed. I didn't really want to go get interviewed, anyways. I just went straight into the pits, and that was the end of my race. Okay, I finished the race at 2 hours and 58 minutes. Can you believe that? They wanted, because of 2 minutes, guys. I came in 2 minutes, because remember what I said. Remember I said 10 minutes. It took 10 minutes for us to get from the back of the pack to the front of the line, right? Because we're the last ones to leave, right? So it took 10 minutes. So remember I said 2:48. So they added the 2:48 when I crossed to 10 minutes. All right. So that gave me 2:58. All right, and the race ends at 3 hours. So because of 2 minutes, they didn't let me cross the finish line. All right, you could have waited 2 minutes, HadesOmega, in the chicken coop, and then you could have crossed the finish line, right? But nope, HadesOmega just went in the pits, and I just stayed there. Okay, and then I saw Hampton rolling in like 10 minutes, and I found out what happened to everybody else. Like I said, Chris ran out of charge on the Storm-B on the second lap. And then Joel nearly ran out of charge on the second lap, and then he swapped, and then he was good. And Joel's lap times were really good. We'll check him out. We'll check him out in the results video. Okay. But yeah, so there it is. I kind of went over all the problems with the bike already, so I'm not going to go over it again. The bike, for the most part, mechanically, it worked fantastically. My bike was making a weird noise. I don't know what happened. When the lid flew open and I had to fix it, it was making a weird noise after that. I don't know, man. Hopefully the drivetrain is nice. Hopefully when we clean it up, it'll be good to go again, okay? But yeah, I don't have any mechanical problems. Everything ran great. Ooh, look at this. My rotor got hit. I wonder if it's straight. Yeah, it's still straight. I have a rear rotor guard on this, and I noticed there's a mark on my rear rotor guard. So I must have. So I'm not gonna lie. I crashed this bike like more than a handful of times in this race, and it took it like a champ. Okay, so I'm going over the handlebars, like, oh, I dropped the bike, and I made a lot. There's also a lot of stupid riding mistakes, guys. Trying to steer the bike with the handlebar, and the front washes out. Yeah, dumb stuff. All right, dumb stuff like that. I was crashing because of that. Okay, and then then there's the problem with the regen and the egg rider display. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the egg rider anymore. At least for this race, man, it was no good. I just like the regular eco mode and the sports mode. I don't know if there's any way to. I don't want so many modes. I wish there wasn't a race mode 0. And I wish there wasn't a reverse. I don't need that, man. I wish you can customize how many what different modes you want. I just want mode 1 and 2. That's it, you know. I don't need a 1, 2, and a 3. All right, because I can't tell which mode I'm in. So I mean, if I only had a mode 1 and 2, then I could flick it up for I could flick it up for 2. I can just keep on hitting it. I know I'm 2. And then I can hit the down button, and then it'll be mode 1. It'll be eco mode. So it makes it more simple, rather than having to go through the menu and everything. And then you accidentally put it in neutral, and then you die. Okay, you could go off a cliff or something because you're going so fast. The bike doesn't respond at all. All right. Yeah, that was really bad. It's a good thing I didn't get hurt any more than that. All right. I got kind of like a headache right now, but I think I'm okay. I took an Advil, and yeah. Another thing is my back. My back is kind of hurting, like where my tailbone is. I think when one of those crashes, I must have hit my tailbone or something. I was wearing a body armor too, and it covers your tailbone a little bit. Well, I also had I had the combat briefs. Okay, guys, the padded briefs. So I must have hit. I feel like I must have hit my tailbone in one of those crashes. I don't remember though. And I was wearing a butt pack too. So, I don't know, man. Maybe wearing the butt pack made my butt sore. I'm not sure, guys. But it's very rare for me to have this pain after. Usually, I'm hurting in the legs and I'm hurting in the arms, all right, and maybe like my upper back, but never my lower back. like where my tailbone is. Yeah, I think I hit my tailbone somewhere. Okay, I don't remember where. So I have to say the Dorado fork did great. I softened it up a whole lot. The Voncat shock, it was too stiff and I was getting kicked around all over the place. I think I needed to make it softer, so I will go softer than whatever setting is on there. We'll go 2 clicks lower on the rebound and the compression for the new dirt setup. I knew it. I knew we were going to have problems tuning the Voncat shock after we had this swing arm and the stiffer spring. And I have to learn how to the new settings and stuff for it. Okay, I used the settings I used last time and they were too stiff. Okay, so we're going to go with a softer setting. Okay, yeah, it was too stiff. I mean, for supermoto and stuff, that's fine, man, or motocross. But like for this kind of riding, you want it to be really soft. You want it to soak everything up. The seat was like kicking us up over there, and the wheel just didn't want to stay on the ground. Yeah, man. But Virginia City is just like that, man. Just you get no traction, man. Every time I've raced there, I feel like, oh, I got a flat tire or something, you know. But it's not, you know. You just got no traction, man. Traction going up the hill sometimes sucks. Going down sucks. Yeah, man. You hit like a sand patch or something. Yeah. Or you hit a rock and you get kicked around all over the place. Yeah, Virginia City is brutal, man. I'll tell you. Like Ted told me, like, yeah, even if you got new tires, it wouldn't make much of a difference. So maybe I think it would have made a difference. So maybe for the next race we'll get new tires. I'm pretty sure we should have got a new rear tire. This one looks pretty done, but still got some life left in it though. So I don't know. I don't know what to say, guys. Yeah, for the most part, mechanically the bike worked great. All right, we'll fix that regen throttle problem. And I don't know what we can do about the egg rider, man. And then, yeah, this battery, I'm not sure what we're going to do about it, man, because it doesn't last the race, man. We could probably try to use it last year. I know we can use it for supermoto if we keep it charged up all the time. So we could use it for races we don't need to go very far. I think ideally what I want to do is I want to get 2 of these Qi batteries. Alright, I want to get 2 of these batteries, and I want to sell one of my other batteries, but this one is going bad. My bigger the medium-sized battery is going bad. The little battery is still okay. That one has Sony cells, but it's too small. It's small. It's much smaller than this, so I have to put that big thing in there, and I don't like it. You know, the big the towel, okay, the padding. So yeah. Anyway, so that's the end of the AAR, guys. What a race it was! All right, it was an all Suron race, and we had all 3 flavors of Surons. All right, and HadesOmega's worries that we'd be racing the next generation Surons and we're gonna get our asses whooped by them came true, guys. I told you, man. That's what I thought would happen, man. I was like, oh, we're racing against these new Suron bikes. This is gonna be it's gonna be tough, man. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I want an Ultra B. Okay, I wouldn't mind having a Storm B either. But I think the Ultra B would kind of be like the more do-all bike, and it's got motorcycle parts on it. That's the big appeal for me. Okay, and it's already pretty fast. You don't really need to make it that fast. Joel rode it really good, man. He was running like 40-something minute lap times, really fast. Okay, but yeah, anyway, check out the results video. Okay, but I have to say the guys that we're riding against were this is the first time I've ever done a dirt bike race where there were Surons that were totally decked out. All right, totally modified Surons. All right, there were Surons out there, the guy in the 902 bike, his bike was higher spec than mine, okay? And everybody's bikes had some kind of modifications on it, so yeah. The Ultra Beat and the Storm Beat were pretty much stock and they whooped us, okay? So that's gotta tell you something, man. The motorcycle parts are, better for motorcycle stuff, dirt bike stuff, okay? But yeah, we make it happen. That's what I'll say. All right, and I have to say that guy on the 905 bike, that guy was ripping, man. He was ripping. He had the Qi battery and the BSC 4000, and he rode it really, really well. The BSC 4000 is in a particularly strong controller compared to this one anyway, but you didn't really need power out there, man. You just need more riding skills. But the power was nice to get up the hills, I'll tell you that. I'm not going to lie. It's nice to have the power to get up the hills. But I was able to hang with him for a little while, but yeah, he's incredible, man. I would pass him, and he would pass me, and then I passed him again, and I never saw, and then he passed me, and I didn't see him again. Okay, and then he got stuck in the pit. So I think it's only going to get more difficult as time goes on. All right, guys. So hopefully we can get better and better. Hopefully, yeah, we'll get this stuff squared away, and then the next dirt bike race is going to be Wild Wabbit. All right, Wild Wabbit, Hollister Hills, Hare Scramble. Yeah. And hopefully we'll fix the problems we had during this race, and we'll see if they do good in the next race. All right, so that's our next dirt bike race. That's my first dirt bike race of the year too. So, and oh yeah, I didn't even go over the results. All right, here's the results, guys. HadesOmega got second place. All right, I got second place. You guys will see in the results video, but I got second place. They didn't give me a trophy because they didn't have a second place trophy for me, but they had Joel's first place trophy. All right, so Joel on the Ultra B got first place. Okay, and Chris, his son, would have probably got first place or second place if his battery, if he didn't have another battery. Okay, so if he had another battery, he would have won that. All right, he rode that bike really good. All right, I never saw him once. So hats off to you guys. All right, it was thanks all those guys that raced with us in the Suron class. All right, guys, hell of a race. That's all I'm gonna say. What a race it was, and they threw a curveball on us with the 15-mile loop. It's too much, you know. You definitely needed 3 batteries for this race. You definitely need to swap every lap. All right, there was no 2-lap dealie. Okay. All right. Anyway, I don't know what happened to everybody else. I know Joel won. All right. Chris had to retire on the second lap, and I think the 905 bike guy, he had to retire on the second lap. I think the 902 bike, the guy with the decked out Suron, he had to retire early because I don't think he got the third lap. Well, you guys will see in the results video. And and Hampton finished third. All right, yeah. So it was Joel, me, and then Hampton. All right. So I will share with you guys the trophy when I get it, because they're gonna mail it to me. All right. I didn't get to take it home today. Why they didn't have it, I don't know. They had a trophy for everybody else, man. What the heck? Oh yeah. I got this. I got a finisher pin. All right, guys. Here it is. I came after the award ceremony. I came there and I told them, "Hey, do I get a finisher pin?" And they said, "Yes, you do, because you did 3 laps." All right, so there it is. That's the finisher pin for Virginia City Grand Prix 2024. Okay. Cool deal. I got another one to add to the collection and another trophy. All right. All right. It would have been nice to get another first place trophy, but that's racing, guys. That's what makes it exciting.